I definitely feel a shift. Everything that's been happening and today and just all of January, reflecting on January, I feel the shift in myself. I mean, I went through a lot of this month, but that's what this was.
Yeah.
Was that we were challenging ourselves to live what we were doing.
Yep.
This isn't us coming on here saying we know everything. No,
right. It's just kind of how we feel.
We built this around what we needed, and we wanted it to go around the seasons.
Yeah.
This is just, if you relate, jump on board, jump on in and share.
Or disagree, and that's fine. We can have open conversations. We're not scared to admit that we don't need to agree with somebody, and maybe we're not open to something, and maybe we are, and that's great.
Hey everybody, welcome into Folklore and Flourish. You're here with Jane and Mark in Blue Box 29. Today is our final day of January 31st. We had never done a podcast before, and we just finished our first month of the year.
31 days, like
31
the longest
straight
month.
Days. But January always feels like a long month, but it didn't this year.
No. Well,
this podcast made it feel like I don't even remember.
Yeah. It's flown by.
Flown by this whole year, Will. And just all the stories that we've seen and all the ideas we've gotten moving forward, like next year, the ideas of like monster weeks and everything. So it's just exciting. I really like doing makeup too, so I'm excited for those monster weeks.
Yeah.
So it would be fun to indulge, like do makeup and tell the stories with that.
Yeah, do separate videos just on your YouTube.
Well, and it could just be me quietly doing my makeup and having the story go across too.
Yeah, you could do that too. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Yeah.
What do you guys think? Tell us in the comments.
Yeah. Like cursed people. What kind of stories would you want? What kind of makeup? It'd be cool.
Yeah, if we did, if she
and
did
like the
monsters.
half and half, like Persephone before. Or like the first half of
and by
the
then
year versus the second half.
our next book will be out, so
yeah, that's why I'm like Persephone, right? Okay, anyways, today is January 31st. We are in the final day. January was all about the month between worlds. So let's break it down. We're in the winter months. We're in our shadow work, our inner soul work, our transformations, looking at who we are moving forward. And January is the month between worlds, the seeker crossing the veil. Okay? We've gone through our awakening. We've gone through the crossing. We've gone through our death and rebirth. And now we are at the return, week 4. We are at the return. Reminder, we're only doing 4 weeks for each month. Breaking them down into 4 weeks. But today is the threshold again. So we've been on the return. And now we're right there. About to cross back. And the rest is in our hands. It's no longer. And we cross into February. But let's end it good with today's topic. So we are at the threshold again, and the theme is new beginnings. So we're going to look at 4 new beginnings today. We're going to look at some from Roman, Celtic, Hindu, and Native American folklore today. So enjoy these 4 stories. And remember, the threshold again, new beginnings. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to honor the cultures behind the stories we are about to explore. The tales shared here come from many peoples, lands, and traditions. I do not change these stories to fit modern expectations or to align with today's social standards. Instead, I present them as they were told, sometimes beautiful, sometimes harsh, sometimes challenging. We are not here to judge the past, but to understand it, to listen, to learn, and to honor the ancestors who carried these stories forward. We also share stories from various religious traditions. These are presented in their historical and spiritual context, with respect for their beliefs that they represent. Every culture deserves respect, context, and acknowledgement, and this space is dedicated to doing exactly that. Story 1. Janus, who faces what was and what comes. In Roman tradition, beginnings are never clean breaks. They are thresholds. Janus stands apart from all other gods of Rome. He is not born of conquest, thunder, or seduction. He does not preside over war or harvest or love. He presides over passage. Doors, gates, arches, months, years. Any moment that moves from one state into another belongs to him. Janus is always shown with two faces. One looks backward, one looks forward. This is not division, it is completeness. Romans understood that to begin without looking back is dangerous. To cling to the past without moving forward is stagnation. Janus alone could see both at once, holding memory and possibility in a single gaze. At the start of every year, Rome did not invoke Jupiter or Mars. They invoked Janus. The month of January bears his name because the year itself is a doorway. What has been done does not vanish. What is coming does not arrive empty. Janus ensures that the crossing is acknowledged. In early myth, Janus was said to have ruled Latium before Jupiter's ascendancy. He was a king of peace and order, welcoming Saturn when the older god fled exile. Under Janus's rule, time itself was said to soften. This was not nostalgia. It was reverence for continuity. Janus was honored at the Janus Geminus, a gate in the Roman Forum whose doors stood open in times of war and closed in peace. When Rome was at war, passage was unavoidable. When peace prevailed, the doors closed, marking a rare and sacred stillness. To cross a threshold without honoring Janus was considered reckless. Before journeys, marriages, contracts, and civic decisions, Romans made offerings to him: a coin, a prayer, a moment of pause. Janus did not demand spectacle. He demanded recognition. He is often described as God of beginnings, but this is incomplete. Janus is the God of continuation. Every beginning contains what came before it. Every ending opens into something else. Janus governs this overlap, this fragile space where identity can be lost or renewed depending on how one steps. Unlike other gods, Janus has no Greek equivalent. The Romans understood him as uniquely theirs because Roman identity itself was built on inheritance, law, and layered history. The future was not imagined without reference to what had already been survived. Janus does not judge. He witnesses. He does not command movement. He holds the door and waits. To stand before Janus is to be asked silently, have you looked back long enough? Have you looked forward honestly? Only then does the threshold open. Story 2. Imbolc Eve and the night the hearth wakes. In Celtic tradition, a beginning does not announce itself loudly. It stirs. Imbolc marks the turning point between winter's grip and the first promise of spring. It arrives not when the land is warm, but when the land begins to remember warmth. The threshold is subtle, easily missed by those waiting for certainty. Imbolc Eve is the night before the change. On this night, the world is still cold. Fields remain bare, frost hold the ground, and yet something has shifted. The ewes begin to lactate. The light lingers a little longer in the sky. Life has not arrived, but it has committed itself. The night belongs to Brigid. Brigid is not only a goddess of fire and poetry, she is a guardian of thresholds, hearth and home, winter and spring, sleep and waking. On Imbolc Eve, households prepared not for celebration, but for reception. The hearth was clean, ashes were smooth, tools were set in order. A small meal was left out. This was not superstition, it was hospitality. Brigid was believed to travel the land on Imbolc Eve, blessing homes that were ready to receive her. Families fashioned a brie dog, a small figure representing Brigid, and placed it near the hearth. A cloak or ribbon was left outside, believed to absorb Brigid's blessings overnight and carry protection for the year ahead. Doors were not barred tightly. Thresholds were respected. In some regions, the head of the household would step outside after dark and call Brigid's name, inviting her in. The act acknowledged that renewal does not force its way into closed spaces. It must be welcomed. Imbolc is quiet by design. There is no harvest yet, no proof, only preparation. The work of this night is internal and domestic. It asks, is there warmth here? Is there care? Is there room for what comes next? Fire is central. Not the roaring fire of survival, but the steady flame of continuity. The hearth represents life that persists even when the world is harsh. To tend it properly is to affirm faith in the coming season without demanding immediate reward. By morning, nothing dramatic has changed, and everything has. The threshold has been crossed. Celtic tradition teaches that true beginnings occur before evidence appears. Imbolc honors the moment when life commits itself quietly, trusting that those who prepare space will be ready to carry it forward. Spring does not begin with flowers. It begins with readiness. Story 3. The wheel that turns without beginning or end. In Hindu tradition, the beginning is never absolute. It is a return. Life is understood not as a single arc, but as a cycle of becoming, shaped by action, consequence, and continuity. This cycle is known as samsara, the turning of birth, death, and rebirth that carries the soul through many forms and lives. There is no first doorway. There is no final one. The soul, Atman, moves from body to body as a traveler moves from house to house. What changes is not essence, but expression. Each life is a threshold entered with memory veiled, yet not erased. What has been lived shapes what will be lived again. The Bhagavad Gita speaks plainly of this passage. As a person casts off worn-out garments and puts on others that are new, so the embodied soul casts off worn-out bodies and enters others that are new. Reincarnation is not punishment, it is process. Each life offers opportunity to learn, to act rightly or wrongly, to refine awareness. Karma is not fate imposed from outside. It is consequence carried forward. Every choice becomes material for the next threshold. Birth, then, is not innocence. It is arrival with history. Death is not annihilation, it is tradition. The soul departs one form and moves toward another according to the weight and direction of its actions. Liberation, moksha, is not guaranteed by belief. It is achieved when the attachment dissolves and the cycle no longer binds. This does not make life disposable. It makes it meaningful. Every action matters precisely because it echoes beyond the present moment. Each threshold crossed carries residue. What is unresolved seeks resolution. What is learned need not be repeated. In Hindu cosmology, even the gods participate in cycles. Worlds are created, sustained, destroyed, and reborn in vast rhythms beyond human scale. Brahma creates, Vishnu preserves, Shiva dissolves. Destruction is not an error, it is necessary. It is necessary clearing so becoming may continue. Standing at the threshold of a new life, the soul does not choose with conscious preference. It is drawn by unfinished lessons, drawn by attachments and duties, drawn by the momentum of its own becoming. To live wisely is to loosen this pull. To act with clarity, compassion, and restraint is to prepare for release rather than repetition. Hindu tradition does not urge escape from life. It urges engagement without clinging. The threshold appears again and again until it is no longer needed. When the soul recognizes itself beyond form, the wheel stills. The final crossing is not into another beginning, but into freedom. Until then, each life is both continuation and chance. The door opens, you step through, and the journey remembers you. Story 4. The doorway that is blessed before it is crossed. In many Native American traditions, a doorway is not an object. It is a moment. Among numerous tribes across North America, thresholds are understood as living transitions that require acknowledgement. To pass from one space into another, from one stage of life into the next, or from safety into uncertainty without blessing, is to invite imbalance. The doorway is where worlds touch. Homes were often built with intentional orientation. Doors face the rising sun, greeting each day as a renewal. To step through the doorway in the morning was to step into relationship with the land, the ancestors, and the unseen forces that shape the day ahead. Before journeys, elders spoke words over those who departed. Those were not commands for success. They were requests for harmony. A traveler was reminded to walk with humility, to observe signs, to listen before acting. The blessing did not guarantee protection from hardship. It acknowledged that hardship was part of the crossing. In some traditions, children were paused at doorways during rites of passage. They did not rush forward, they were named. Their lineage was spoken aloud so they would remember who stood behind them as they stepped into who they were becoming. Identity was not something discovered alone, it was carried. Doorways were also marked in times of grief. When the death entered a household, the threshold became a site of care. Certain objects were placed near the doors. Smudging smoke was drawn across it. This was not to seal the house, but to steady it. The doorway helped guide spirits so they would not linger in confusion or fear. Blessing the household did not mean clinging to the past. It meant crossing with respect. Some tribes taught the words spoken at a doorway linger longer than those spoken elsewhere. The boundary holds memory. To speak carelessly there was discouraged. To speak intentionally was powerful. Even today, in many Native communities, people pause before entering ceremonial spaces. They touch the frame, they lower their eyes, they acknowledge that they are about to become different by what they enter. Threshold is where responsibility changes. Inside the home, one lives privately. Outside, one represents family, clan, and ancestors. The doorway is the place where that shift is recognized rather than denied. Native American traditions do not ask what waits on the other side. They ask whether you cross with awareness. To bless the doorway is to say, I know this step matters. Beginnings are not accidents. They are crossings witnessed by the land. Welcome back in. We hope you enjoyed those 4 stories. We're at the threshold again for January 31st. It's the first year of our 9-year cycle. Finished our first month, and it's the threshold again. Our daily thread is that across these traditions, beginnings are never empty or abrupt. Janus holds past and future in a single gaze. Imbolc Eve prepares the hearth before spring is visible. The Hindu wheel turns, carrying memory through every return. Native doorways are blessed, so crossing is conscious. Each story teaches that renewal requires awareness, not erasure. What opens next depends on how fully the threshold is honored. But today the theme is new beginnings, and the lesson is that you are never finished becoming. So you are never finished becoming. Story 1, I love this because it's the end of January, January 31st, and we hear where January got its name from. Janus.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. That was a fun way to wrap up January.
So, and the fact that it does symbolize new beginnings.
You know, it's interesting.
The threshold.
During history, Janus switched from a male to a female name, you know. But then, doesn't that happen quite often with names throughout history? I mean, there are a few, like Mark, we stay strong. But, like, there's other names that have flip-flop.
There's some that are more open, and I think as a deity it would be, just in general, but not that all deities are, but...
That makes sense.
And it is also the god that looks forward and back. So So it would be a duality. So who
That-
better to have? And it belongs to just the Romans. So, so the Romans, you know, changing the calendar through that civic ritual and using Janus as the god of doors, gates, and transitions. So January is built for our threshold month. So we had all of this, and it's like, wow, cool stories. Just choose it for the winter. No, this was chosen for January because January is the threshold month.
Yeah.
It is the seeker crossing the veil, and we are transitioning into a new beginning.
Right.
Just like it being the first year, transitioning into a new. So now we get to know that Janus is the god of continuation. We're continuing forward. This Roman threshold myth emphasizes the beginnings as conscious crossings. We are consciously choosing our new beginning. I love that. Versus, oh, we had to start over, or I felt like I needed to. I chose to. I chose to start new.
And why not start new? You can start new every day, but you don't got to start from scratch.
No.
You could just choose to be like, you know what, today is a new day. But you got to believe it. You can't. There are some things you can do the fake it till you make it, right? And just grind and do your thing. But there's some things you have to be honest with yourself. And if you're truly ready and you say it, your energy will know and you'll feel it as soon as you then decide to say it.
And the threshold, you need to be ready.
Yeah.
This isn't something you can push through, endure through, survive through. You need to respect it before you walk through. That's what these stories are telling.
Exactly.
This is not something you just disregard. You take notice of it.
It happened for a reason.
And it's not just for the sense of the fact that everything around you helped you become who you're about to step into, but for yourself.
Yeah.
For yourself, take a breath. Pause and choose this. Janus also teaches that renewal without memory is unstable. So you also need to have your memory. But memory without movement is incomplete. So the nostalgia, it's good to have that. Good to have your memory, but to live in it. That's what's scary about growing old, is what I felt like through my time and now moving into my upper 20s, almost my 30s, that as someone that is constantly changing, everyone else is, and you drift apart. You go in different directions. You start becoming more precise with your time. And it's not that anyone's good or bad or better or worse, just going in different directions. And that is something that has been hard for me, is you start to realize that, wow, when people tell you in school that you really won't stay in touch, I mean, they mean it. I truly feel like, even in my adult, like out of high school, I have a few friends, and the few that I have, I do not contact on a daily basis.
No.
And so that's a hard thing, is that there are some that you drop off that drop you off too, because it's almost it is a mutual.
Yeah.
We're ready. Because if it wasn't mutual, it wouldn't end. But those that do, they're like moving in their own paths as well, but we're still like connected. It's like that spiritual connection. With Janus is you can have your memory but keep moving forward. So just to wrap up Janus, he's just where we get the name January, and to begin again does not mean that we erase what was.
Right.
We just move forward and carry it forward with awareness. So we've returned, we've crossed the threshold, and now it's new. And so we're going to all embark in a new journey tomorrow when February starts, but moving into the second one. Imbolc Eve, and the night the hearth wakes. So that quiet transition, right? That earth's transition. So this emphasizes the beginnings will arrive before proof. Some beginnings arrive before there's proof that they have.
Right.
That feeling that change is coming, that shift in the air. It's actually something there.
Yeah.
This was a major seasonal transition, but it's not the seasonal transition itself. It's that break before.
Right.
What we mean by that is like January is the middle winter month.
Mm-hmm.
December, January, February. As we end January, we are shifting into February, where the earth, I do believe, is starting to say, okay, I remember you, to the sun. It doesn't indulge in it yet, it doesn't capture it yet, but it says, I remember you. And that's what this story is telling us. That the Eve teaches that renewal enters quietly and must be welcomed through preparations, care, and attentiveness to subtle changes rather than dramatic transformation. So, subtle changes rather than dramatic. How we look at people. We can start to see a shift, and then we start to feel a shift before we see it a lot of the time.
Right.
You can, when we sense or feel that somebody's off, feel that somebody's different. Maybe it's because they're about to step into a whole new phase, a whole new cycle. That gut feeling that we get, you know?
Yeah. Shh.
This was
Or you're gonna go away.
Irish one with Brigid. It's not the breaking into a new season, it's the month before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the break into accepting that that is coming.
Ow.
And the work of this night is that it asks you, is there warmth here? Is there care? Is there room for what comes next?
Mm-hmm.
So we're standing at that threshold and we're looking and we're making sure that there is room for what's waiting for us. We don't know what's waiting, but we have to have room for it.
And we got to be open to it and trust that it's what is best for us, whatever it is.
This is that quiet commitment that life has. I think that we as human beings have that quiet commitment when we choose someone, whether it be a partner or a friend. There is that quiet shift in us when we know someone's here to stay.
Right.
And that is another thing, is who we carry with us forward, and sensing that as well. We need to just be ready. So we're ready for whatever February holds, and we know that there is going to be a lot of love in that month, a whole new month, a whole new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Moving and open-minded, something that we talked about, I guess a little break, but not a whole break from this, you know,
Yeah.
is we're moving it through this threshold, like I just said in that previous story. The people that are coming with us, there's some people walking through their own thresholds. I feel like you and I are walking through our own independent thresholds every so often, maybe not at the same time. Maybe you do one day, I do another.
Yeah.
But we're also in a relationship, and we're walking through a threshold together.
Yeah.
I definitely feel a shift. Everything that's been happening, and today, and just all of January, reflecting on January, I feel the shift in myself. I mean, I went through a lot of this month, but that's what this was.
Yeah.
Was that we were challenging ourselves to live what we were doing.
Yep.
This isn't us coming on here saying we know everything. No,
Right.
we're...
It's just kind of how we feel.
We built this around what we needed, and we wanted it to go around the seasons.
Yeah.
This is just, if you relate, jump on board, jump on in and share.
Or disagree, and that's fine. We can have open conversations. We're not scared to admit that we don't need to agree with somebody, and maybe we're not open to something, and maybe we are, and that's great.
This definitely isn't, though, going to be one of those places where the negativity is going to get
just ignored.
Yeah, that sense of we're moving forward, seeing other people walk through their thresholds and cheering them on, like we said the other day, and then we're going through our own. We're stepping into new ones with our partners. Story 3, the wheel that turns without beginning or end. I loved this. The cycle known as samsara, the returning of birth, death, and rebirth, that carries the soul through many forms and lives. So the Hindu thresholdness emphasized beginning as return. Reincarnation teaches that life is not a single doorway crossed once, but a series of passages shaped by choice and awareness. True completion comes not from reaching a final beginning, but from understanding why the cycle turns. The threshold continues to appear until it is no longer needed.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that? When the soul recognizes itself beyond form, the wheel stills. The final crossing is not into another beginning, but into freedom. Until then, continuation and chance.
Mm-hmm.
The door opens, you step through, and the journey remembers you.
Right.
So, this was, your lives are tied to your choices.
Mm-hmm.
And the lessons that you need to learn, just like you've said, of you think that we chose what we wanted here. We chose where we wanted to live and why we wanted to come down here and for what purpose and what lessons. And that's what this is saying is ultimately our actions influence our lives, which, surprise.
Right.
But yeah, actions influence our lives beyond, and how much differently we live thinking that way.
Mm-hmm.
That this choice is not just for right now.
It's for, moving forward.
Yeah,
too.
my soul will be marked by this choice in one way or another.
I must have did some really cool stuff last time to have this opportunity to have the opportunity to help so many people this time. Mm-hmm. And to be the one that's there to do it. And to be given the opportunity to be in this powerful body, to be able to use the gifts that I have. I'm pretty proud of that,
And to start by doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Like we said, it's like exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the end of January, and I just told you earlier, I just had this, like that exact feeling.
Yeah.
And it was just telling me that something, embrace the threshold, like that's what it feels like. How I told you it felt like something just crossed, something just started. Maybe that's what it is that a threshold appeared.
Right.
And I need to embrace it.
Go through that.
Well, I need to
Yeah.
That's why I felt like I needed to do the reading I
Yeah.
needed to acknowledge it and honor it. Maybe that's how I'm going to look at it.
I love that.
Story 4, the doorway that is blessed before it is crossed. I love this. That intentional crossing.
Yeah.
In between how many times have I crossed through a threshold like the past week and I forgot what I was doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you, I forgot what I was doing. And it's when you cross thresholds. Why is that? Is that like the
energetic.
universe and the energy saying, slow down?
Possibly, yeah.
It's that humility, like it was saying, maybe?
Yeah.
And that they're not commands for success, but they're requests for harmony. But to acknowledge every time you do. And I love the way that they put it, acknowledging the threshold because of what it will give them when they return, how they're going to be changed and how the person that's talking to you now and appreciating you now is going to be different than the person that walks away from you. So thank you for allowing me in. Because this person will not be coming out.
Right.
In all actuality.
Yeah, no, for sure. The person I met, even, the person that woke up this morning, it's going to be totally different.
We should want that.
Yeah. Because I want to grow, and I want that person that I'm with
to I want to be so surrounded by things that I love.
Yeah.
Things that bring me peace and joy, and you don't know fully what that is until you acknowledge the things that aren't granting you that. And this whole idea that we have to suffer or you just have to deal with some things. There are a lot of things that we say that about that we don't have to tolerate. Right. And so whatever it may be, I don't have to tolerate my excuse of never having time, of always being tired, of other people, right? It doesn't need to be like that. I can put my foot down with that and go, no, I want better. But I have to walk into it to approach that threshold. And this one was not a rush forward. It really wasn't. This one really, the blessing, the acknowledgement of both, that pause. It'd be pretty cool to start doing that more. Because there are sometimes when we walk into buildings that you feel that. Because so many people walk in with bad. I wish this place would burn or whatever, you know, like those certain places that just people dislike. You're walking into all that energy because everyone thinks it through the threshold. I mean, just imagine a threshold being something that has like this invisible veil on it, right? So the veil, that's just energy. It's holding everything. It's like a magnet. So if it gets close enough, it's going to grab it. How powerful our thoughts are. I'm uncomfortable when I walk into this building. Why is that? Oh, because 20 years ago I hated doing it. And I had to do it for like a year straight. Right? So now I hate it. It's so uncomfortable. Because every time I crossed this threshold, I told my body I didn't want to be here. And so if we walk into situations of, maybe instead of, and this is for myself, moving forward, I'm going to try to do this. I hope you hold me accountable to that. Of when I'm walking into a situation I'm uncomfortable with. And I wish I would have had this, you know, a week and a half ago, this exact story. But when I walk into a situation or a place I'm uncomfortable with, I think I'm going to start to pause and instead of, I don't want to do this or I'm scared, just thank you for acknowledging me here. Because when I walk out, I'll be different. And just accepting that. That uncomfortable moment isn't forever. It's just you're in the threshold. You're not all the way through. You're just in that bleh, and then you can come back out. And so I'm going to really start being more aware of that. Of this is an opportunity.
I like that.
I'm coming out on top no matter what. We're not clinging to the past. We have our memory though. To change doesn't mean that you burn everything to the ground and you ignore your past. It's to have those memories. Yes, they're there, but that's it. They're there. They're not there to be analyzed because honestly, why?
You can't change it.
And like you were saying earlier, there are some conversations we walk into and it's like, why? Maybe, like you said, what do you want? It really is just get it off your chest. We need to explain how we both misunderstood each other. Because it wasn't okay either way. That's what I'm assuming, you know. And having that in every situation as well, you know, moving forward. The crossing, you know.
Well, I believe we're stepping into a whole new reality too.
And that's that, like I said, that uncomfortability. It's like that shift. When you're in the transition of the shift, you're in the threshold. And you haven't gone all the way through because you haven't acknowledged it. You haven't honored it. You haven't taken that breath in. And I think at the end of today, you know, January 31st, we're going to feel that. And I loved in these stories, our house needs to be built with the door pointed toward the sunrise.
I was thinking the same thing.
You are, like, I am obsessed with sunrises. I'm a sunrise person.
Doors, windows, like our bedroom.
Yeah, I want our bedroom facing it and open doors, just the swing open. But some glass doors maybe.
Just towards the east. Let the
big windows and just open. That would make us be better and more productive. I think that's the biggest thing is that we aren't living in a position where the earth is helping us and we're because when you face something where the sun is coming in your window, you rise with it.
And we're the furthest away from it. our heads towards it, though.
What we were saying, how some places we have more of a negative feeling in. It said in that story that some tribes taught that words spoken at thresholds linger a lot longer than anywhere else.
Yeah.
There is an energetic pull at them.
Mm-hmm.
There is no denying it, no matter what you believe or think.
There's a lot of talk about thresholds in all kinds of different stories.
And a threshold doesn't have to be man-made.
Right.
You know, you enter into caves, you know, and...
Well, the forest threshold, you know.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
A lot of talk about, like, going into a forest. Well, there's a threshold to walk into that forest. Or a field, or a yard.
Absolutely.
There's tons.
Yeah, and just that...
The threshold of life.
They're not accidents, though. Your beginning isn't an accident. No matter how it may feel
You've been
accidental.
asking for it, too. I guarantee you've been asking for it in one way or another, and it's coming.
Or you've been avoiding it.
And it's coming. You just gotta surrender to it and allow it to come in. And just when you're doing that, when you allow it to come in, do it knowing that it's coming in with your best intention, with your highest purpose, and believe that, and then allow that to be the truth of what it is, and it will be. So.
Right. The Native American threshold traditions are emphasized beginning through reverence. The doorway is not rushed or ignored. To cross consciously is to honor change itself. What opens next depends not only on where you go, but on how you step. Do you step with courage? Do you step with hesitation? Are you sure? Are you confident? Are you afraid but still brave? You know, taking that into the end of today and tomorrow as well. And then our reflection question is, what door am I ready to step through with intention, with purpose? What door am I ready to step through? We're going to think about that today, and we're going to wake up in the morning, and when we walk out at sunrise, or hopefully see the sunrise whenever we cross that threshold, we're going to answer it to ourselves, because it is the new tomorrow. So what door am I ready to step through? And then say, that's the door right there, and step right through it.
It would be nice. And then just with the most positive just feeling, just feel it before you go through it. Just feel what the amazing energy that it's going to bring once you walk through that threshold, because you know it's been waiting for you.
Yeah, and the daily task is going to go right with that, because our daily task is that you're going to pause at a doorway today. So you're going to pause at it and take a deliberate breath before crossing. You're going to think of that question. When you're ready, you're going to breathe in. Say it out loud if you want to, or just say it in your head and then breathe it out, either way. And then we're going to stop, or we're going to just walk through. So you'll stop first, think your question, breathe it in, but make sure that the door is open. Don't be facing a closed door. Make sure that it is open in front of you.
Oh, you want it open, huh?
Yeah, you do want it open in front of you. Because it's not the door itself, it's the threshold. So this is because true beginnings begin with awareness. Not haste.
Gotcha.
So, where does our story begin? That's what we have to ask, and it starts where our final story ended. Our final chapter ended. And so, today we're going to take a breath. What threshold am I ready to walk through? What door am I ready to step with confidence through? Because remember, it's how you step as well. Even if it is, I'm going to step into positivity. I'm going to step into kindness, tolerance. I'm going to step into my becoming. I'm going to step into my self-advocacy, whatever it may be. And we're going to take a big old breath because we finished it. We finished the month between worlds. And next month is definitely going to be interesting, because while January was heavily focused on I mean, we have our community helping us, but it was heavily I.
Right.
February has a lot to do with love, and a lot of the topics in there are centered around that. So it'll be exciting. I'm hoping it'll be fun for our relationship and help it grow and challenge it. We made it through January, 31 straight days.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties. Sometimes emotional difficulties.
Man, my computer. I'll tell you what. We need to upgrade some equipment.
Yeah, but we have to start somewhere. And so one day we'll look back at these and be like,
no, I'm going to love it. Like, truly. Why wouldn't you? Because with every little scuffed knee, there's a story behind that. There's a lesson. Right. I remember when I was a kid one time, I crashed into a fence on my bike because I decided to ride with my eyes closed and my hands not on the steering wheel.
Why am I not surprised?
Hands off, just like, just like I'd take the wheel. And then he said, ha, I'm on a giggle. So he said, fence.
Pacha!
And I went, kapow! Right into said fence. And it did not feel great because I just felt the...
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool.
That's all that we have for you for the month of January. So you'll see us tomorrow.
Yeah.
With February and a whole new vibe. The only thing that will be the same is that we're
Season 2. You can come and watch the YouTube on my side though, because we do cool things like pull out of the blue jug. So that'll come up here just after this episode. We're gonna put that on mine. So
yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow again. Whoo, starting day one.
Day one again.
Day one.
And if you've been here with us every single day so far, thank you so much. Thank yourself.
Lots of love.
Because I'm sure something must have touched you.
And comment what did.
Yeah,
comment what you're
to
feeling.
Keep you here.
Thinking.
We appreciate it. And we want to help people. So let us know what it was. And hopefully we can help somebody else. But if it's you that we reach, I'm 100% okay with that.
And if it's just us that heals.
Oh, man.
If it's just us that heals.
Because I am. I know I am. So
I am because I'm doing things that I'm like, what?
Uncomfortable with, and it's out of your character, but it's new and it's
out
needed.
of my old character, but it's almost like, who am I? Who is
Watch
this?
out. Stop
like,
it.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
So that's where we're at, and now we're about to be there with our person. So, like we said, we just walked through the threshold, and we'll see you tomorrow for February 1st. See you guys.
See you guys. Love you. Thank you. I didn't even do it right.
Thank you for walking this journey with me today. These stories are more than folklore. They are the heartbeat of our world building, the inspiration behind our characters, and the soul of the Legends Reborn Chronicles. By exploring these tales, we honor the past, ignite the present, and breathe life into the legends we're creating together. To see more of Mark and I, as well as additional scenes, discussions, and healing, check the links below that will lead you to our various social media platforms. Please also feel free to ask any questions or leave any comments in the episode below or in future episodes to come. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, may your path be guided by wonder, curiosity, and the magic of the stories that came before us. Blessings, and I'll see you on our next folklore journey.